Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Ideally, though.
Ideally, though,
I'm your host, Erica, and with me is my hubby, my bestie, my butter biscuit.
yeah, what up?
We're rounding the end of Black History Month.
Yes,
Happy Black History Month.
yeah, it blew by to be
Yeah.
honestly.
Thank you for being my black husband and loving my black ass.
It's fucking cool. Yeah, I mean, ditto for being my black wife and loving my black ass. I love you.
February goes by fast, but I'm excited because I'm ready for the summer. I don't know.
Yeah, we had a rainy week this week. It was kind of dreary early in
Yeah.
the week and stuff. So like, yeah, I'm kind of over the shit weather. I want a little more springtime.
I love spring. Like I'm always bitching about like, oh, it's so hot, I can't wait until it's winter time. And then when it's winter time, man, I can't wait to be outside. But I think the middle is the spring
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
Okay.
Or fall. Like those are the best
Yeah, those
times.
are both the best times anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can do without the allergies that's coming up in this next season, but I mean, other than that, what's a pill I can pop and then I'm fine to enjoy the rest of it. So
I used to be like, what is allergies? I don't have to what is that? Like people
lucky
sneezing? Like, okay.
sneezing.
What happens?
Yes, a lot of sneezing, being stuffy, feeling like you can't breathe, sinus infections for
Infections.
some people. That doesn't happen to me. I get stuffy. I get the runny nose sometimes, and I get the like I gotta blow my nose constantly kind of dealio. But like,
Okay.
yeah, that shit sucks. It used to be really bad as a kid with the allergies, especially during the allergy season, because then like I would get like hives and like
Damn.
itchy
Like just
and
like red bumps over your
yeah,
body.
yeah, yeah, all over and be really, really itchy and have to put on that like what's it called, like calamine
Calamine lotion.
lotion or some shit. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I always
constant.
wondered how people knew they had allergies. I'm like, does a
You just
doctor tell you
you
or you
just
just
find
know?
out. I've got a like a bad but yet funny, pretty funny story about like how I found out I was allergic to shrimp because it was just by me eating them.
And then it was just like, oh
It's
shit.
one of those moments where you just like
Yeah, see, I don't really
yeah.
have any allergies. The only time I felt like my throat was a little tight is like one time I had like alcohol with like pineapple. And I'm like, maybe it was the
Mm,
pineapple flavoring that got me
yeah.
and it felt a little.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I mean, so far I don't
That's
have
I remember that moment because that's why I took it so seriously because I had the whole shrimp incident. When you
yeah.
know, you know.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've eaten pineapple, so no problems. I've drank pineapple juice. So I was like, maybe it was the,
Artificial shit.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the
maybe.
artificial shit.
hmm
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Did you hear about the whole thing with DC Young Fly?
No.
So I think he was at a comedy show and he had his book bag and I think he forgot it or it got stolen
Oh,
or
whoa.
something like that. And he's been asking people online if they can return the bag.
Yeah.
I saw D.L. Hughley repost it as well.
Mm.
And what kind of shocked me a little bit was that he was like, I got some valuable things in my book bag. I got my girl's death certificate in there, and I was like,
He's mourning. That's why.
why do you don't carry that? That's
He's
like a
mourning.
social security
I
card.
get it. I get it. But he's mourning, and that's why. I agree with you. You don't do that. Don't do
It would be different if it was maybe like a T-shirt that you keep or something. But
that.
the death certificate to me does. You just want to remember the
He's
day.
he's mourning that he's mourning.
You can. That's so sweet of you to say it that way. I think it's kind of irresponsible.
I'd say definitely irresponsible, but I mean, so I guess in moments or under the circumstances of distress, I mean, I'll allow it. It was dumb, but I'll allow it. And you know now why it was dumb because
Um,
it's gone now.
but didn't your mama teach you to put your birth certificate up, your social
For
security card?
sure, but in moments of mourning for some people, especially because he loved his wife, he loved her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you may not be able to think.
Sometimes that's why I'd be like, you're gonna have to go before me because if you're gonna be losing my shit, my
No,
value, like being irresponsible, I don't know if I
no.
can trust you on this earth without me.
No, I think you've whipped me into enough into submission to know that I have to be responsible on so many different things if you went before me. So I got
Yeah.
it. I got it together.
Well, I hope whoever has his book bag brings it back to him. Like,
Yeah,
don't be an
that's really
asshole.
unfortunate, yo.
Yeah,
That
don't be an
sucks.
asshole and take his stuff, and then TMZ has a copy of her. I mean, I think anybody can probably get a death certificate, but somebody has
Yeah,
it. It's what can you do with it?
that sucks.
Yeah, what are you doing
That's
it?
an unfortunate situation.
Now, I heard earlier this week there was this YouTuber who reviews like food and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and he went to Detroit and he went to Mom's Spaghetti.
Oh, word.
So
Okay.
Eminem's
Eminem's restaurant. Yeah,
and said this is the worst restaurant in Detroit. So I mean, I guess there are reviews that it's like not a good place to go,
Yeah.
and this particular YouTuber said it was the worst spaghetti I ever had, and it's the worst restaurant in Detroit. And I'm thinking like, how can you fuck up
So
spaghetti?
maybe there was a reason why B Rabbit vomited up the spaghetti in the first place.
I mean, I know like you're like not doing as much like rap right now, but if you're gonna get something right, get the one kind of thing you're doing at the time right, like the restaurant.
That's
You can
funny.
make money off of it. People
Yeah.
love Eminem; they'll go to just for the name,
Yeah.
and it kind of sucks that
That's
somebody got
incredibly
keep the heat.
ironic.
Yeah.
Now it just makes me change the 8 Mile lore in my head. He didn't choke on stage because he was nervous. It was because he had bubble guts and
I'm like,
and he was gonna throw up on stage.
I'm like, who was back there cooking the spaghetti? They ain't had no seasoning.
That's good.
You need an Italian man cooking this spaghetti.
Yeah. Giovanni.
Yeah, Giovanni. Or you need Big Mama with the arm to be cooking the spaghetti back there.
With the wing.
Yeah. Big Mama, your arm. You need somebody like that from Soul Food. But if you don't, you got a dude named Chad back there making spaghetti sandwiches. I can see why.
Yeah, I get that.
So
get that.
there, we can see a whiteness.
You better
in
off
your
getting
spaghetti.
Sbarro at the mall.
Okay. Now I saw that NASA.
Oh
Yeah. Odysseus aircraft landed on the moon
Yeah.
for the first time since the Apollo mission 15 or 52 years
I
ago.
think it's by the public company. Forgive me if I'm getting the name wrong, but it's Integral Machines or something like that. But that private space company is shot off Odysseus. It landed in a crater. I forgot what the name was in particular, but this crater is they're going to be researching for more data in order to get more people to build a colony up there. They're trying to build a space colony within the next 4 to 5 years. It's like a 4 to 5 year mission where they're going to start sending stuff up. So this is one of those privatized companies that's going to be able to send supplies up as they begin to build and go back. And it's a lunar rover, which is really exciting. I'm super excited about it because it's just more space shit. And you know me, I'm a fucking space nerd. So just more space shit. And what's interesting to me is just a few days ago, I was talking to you about space mining and how that's definitely going to be an industry. And I see it. I see that thing happening in, I'm being generous, 50, 60 years. With the power of AI now, 30.
I think so.
I think
it's going to bring us back to the 1800s when people were finding places to mine.
Settlers.
And it's going to be the rat race to the freaking
Now, do I think
space.
we'll be intergalactic? No, but do I think we'll definitely be spacefaring in some way, shape, or form? Absolutely. So, super exciting space news, and I'm going to be definitely keeping an eye on it.
Do we think this is technically, if you get some of our older people with the whole like conspiracy theory,
the first time?
Like this is the first moon landing?
Yo, funnily enough,
do you think it was a Hollywood?
I've been seeing people on like Reddit and on Hedgie say that
they're already
this
saying
is the first one. This is the first time we've ever done it. Like if the Russians and the Indians and everybody beat us to it, type shit. Yeah.
I know we were really like we gotta rush it, and maybe we could just do it in a Hollywood set. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there back in the day. Somebody, grandma, great grandma, tell me what y'all really think.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know anymore. As long as we get to space, I'm cool. I can give a fuck about the first one now because we done found out a bunch of shit that ain't fake nowadays. Yeah, so like, take it with a grain of salt.
That's true. How long does it take to get out? I guess to the outer sphere
of like Earth.
Yeah.
Whew. So it's a lot of pressure. I don't know the time exactly. To get to the moon, they had to cross 400,000 miles. And they were going about 1.1 mile per second type shit. That's the speed or whatever they're going. So
in layman's terms, you don't know.
Fast and a lot of time.
I'm thinking like, does it take days, weeks?
It's months. It's a month.
It's months to get. So it's going to take longer to get to the moon.
We have to be better at capitalizing on the amount of pressure and force we need to get to break out of the Earth's atmosphere. Fighting against gravity is relatively easy, depending on how small you are relative to gravity. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's why we can jump. But
Yeah.
like rockets take a lot of fucking mass because they're carrying a lot of stuff. So if we get better at doing that, which Blue Origin and intricate machines or whatever it's
Mhm.
called, sorry again, and other places are trying to get better at with that, or if we get better with nuclear power, then I think it's possible that they can make those things like weak trips.
I think my fear is that the way it looks as pressure wise when you're going up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how does it feel? Does it feel like being on a roller coaster,
Uh,
shooting up like the Superman?
Way different, way different. I mean, the amount of G forces that people they feel, they show you like air people or astronauts getting trained where their like faces look like they're like rubber
Flabby, yeah.
almost.
It's
They
like
go through
that.
those types of, yeah, because like even your organs and things get pushed back into you when you are like blasting off at that type of like rate.
Yeah.
It's a enormous amount of power that they need to actually get off Earth. Gravity is weak, but it still is incredibly strong. Black
Yeah.
holes, of course, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, breaking out of that with so much heavy mass and weight upon it, you need a lot of volume there. So,
Yeah.
getting better at that is going to make it so those types of trips get shorter in
Mhm.
time, and that's what they need to really focus on is how to sustain power in that way.
I think the issue I would have, I mean, the training seems like so. So I was like, that looks like it's probably so hard. Like when you're blasting off in space, that's why they have to do these enormous trainings, like making you spin
The
and
certain yeah the G forces and
yeah. I'm
stuff,
like,
and
no,
yeah.
thank you. I don't want to be no goddamn
So like,
astronaut.
I'll like thumbs up and claps to like Tom
Astronauts.
Cruise and Top Gun and stuff like that. That shit's cool, but do what the astronauts do, bro. I mean,
I'm
he's
no
working towards
hell
it
no.
because they go through some G force.
I don't be hearing a lot of people telling they want to be an astronaut. You hear it in kindergarten, and then when you find out what they really got to do, you're like, nah, I'm good, player. No, thank you. Tang, diapers, monkeys. Like, nah, I'm
They
good.
lose bone density in space the longer they are, so you get smaller.
Smaller.
You know what I mean
Yeah.
and shit. And relatively speaking, you like the people on Earth age faster than you do, so you kind of get younger in time relative. But
It seems like it's lonely too, like depending on how long
yeah.
your mission is.
hmm
Oh no, it's
Working
scary.
out is definitely a thing that's different because they have to like weigh you down to the machine and they
Yeah.
don't operate the same way in space. It's very interesting and I'm very excited about all of the space stuff going on for all like the countries in the world. Just humanity making it off the planet is
Yeah,
dope
we
as
I know
fuck.
we are competing, but goddamn, like good job
Yeah, we
everybody.
need to get the fuck off because if not, we're gonna blow it the fuck up.
We'll do that to outer space. We always will find
We'll
a
find
way.
a way to blow up outer
We
space. It's
always will find a way to do something destructive. Okay?
I love it.
Okay, so there I think I told you this maybe a month ago. Wendy Williams is she has a docu series that came out or was coming out and I think it's out now on
Mm,
Lifetime.
okay.
And recently it comes out that she's diagnosed with dementia. Yeah,
Oh.
and aphasia. It's like that
Okay.
condition where you can't like formulate language or like
Oh, it's what Bruce Willis has.
yeah, they compare it to Bruce Willis. I
Uh,
saw a little clip of her speaking with Black China, and you can kind of see like it seems like she's kind of her eyes is like she's somewhere else.
yeah, she's
And
wondering.
then when she's talking to her, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be here in New York more." And she's like, "Well, my real name is Wendy Hunter, and my ex-husband has no money." And she's like, "Yeah, you know how you maybe talk to an elderly grandparent or older person." It was like that. She was like, "I
That's
love you."
unfortunate. That's really
Yeah, you
sad.
can see in her eyes like she's hair's thin and
Yeah,
she doesn't have too much color in her
yeah.
face. I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Dementia is something that like scares me. That's big. That's a big one. Anything that's the deterioration of my brain. That's the deterioration I feel like of my consciousness.
It's more too than just memory loss too. It's
It's that's what I'm getting at
yeah.
is as far as the deterioration of my consciousness. It's the loss of me.
Mhm.
Myself. There's a album on YouTube, and I'll hopefully put the link in the descriptions for us
Okay.
if I remember this. But it is the art of the dementia or something like that. But it's a record that's about 4 hours long, and in about 30-minute segments, it goes from being a clear song that you can like rhythmically understand,
Yeah.
dance to, and like to white noise, and it's supposed to be
You've
a
told me about that.
representation of the
Hmm.
brain. And it's one of the most disturbing things I think I've ever listened to in my life. And that also kind of instills the fear in me. It's what makes me kind of want to like do like brain games, and I read a lot, and
Yeah.
all those things that I'm kind of like really into, because I don't want to lose that sense of me. It's the wiping away of her consciousness, and her being able to be, I guess, lucid enough to make moments where she
Yeah.
is available.
Hmm.
That's so scary.
Yeah, I joke a lot like, oh, I'm probably gonna have dementia, I'm losing my mind, but it is scary to not know
Yeah.
who you are and
Yeah.
not maybe trust the people around you
Exactly.
that could have been around you for a long time. I
Hmm.
can only imagine what her son's going through because you guys are making a docu series and she's not all the way there maybe.
Yeah.
And there's moments I saw where she's like breaking down. I don't want to do this, and I'm like, this is not the Wendy Williams we
We
knew.
knew.
And
Yeah.
it felt like it went really fast. Like one
Hmm.
minute she's like, "How you doing?" and then the next minute it's like
Yeah.
she's like wiped from the not say wiped from the face of earth, but it was like, where is she? What happened? She has no money. All these things start coming out,
Yeah.
and we're like, and then now this whole dementia thing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my
It's
goodness,
just the world crashing down, and that really does suck. That
yeah.
really does suck. Because I mean, look, I can be as objective as possible and say like I was not the biggest fan of her, but
Hmm.
like dementia is so terrifying and horrifying to me as a human alone, that her going through that and the suffering alone that the family and her are going through.
Hmm.
That's something, genuinely speaking, I would not wish on my worst
I wish everything on my worst enemy.
enemy.
Scabies,
Not scabies.
yeast infection.
What is wrong with you?
But like, I know you went through with your mom, her having a stroke, and
Yeah,
I believe that affects the brain where
yeah. You can
you don't
lose
remember.
portions of its short term. She does have blank spots in her memory now, which
Okay.
is bothersome. Sometimes it can be irritating. I have to work on patience in that
Yeah,
area.
you know what? When
That's more of a me thing.
I first got with you, and you would get so mad easily, and I'm like, well, you told me that she's had 3 strokes. I'm like, where's your patience at? When you know that there
Yeah,
are spots of
yeah.
memory missing.
Look, I am not the greatest son. I can admit I totally can do better. Tommy's gonna kick my ass for that. But also, there's a lot of other things that's past worth that. Like
Yeah.
moving on, and we're way better now.
Hmm.
That it's a situation where I can look back and go, man, I have to make sure I take care of myself because my mom went through this. Then one of my favorite actors goes through it that I'm like
Yeah.
attached to. And then this person who has always been a prominent name in media in general,
Yeah.
that's like to know that more and more people that I am aware of or been close to who've had these types of cognitive things happen to them,
Hmm.
it, it's scary.
I
It's
think
so scary.
I think with getting older is opening my eyes wide. I mean,
Yeah.
being in the early 30s, but seeing people drop, seeing people, your heroes, like you said, like things
Yeah.
happen like dementia and stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you're not really that old, right? I just saw you in Die Hard 4. You like,
Word.
so it's getting scary out there. That's why us as millennials, Gen Zs, and everyone further, after that, we need to eat clean, we need to exercise, and we're just not going to do what our parents, our grandparents did because look what's
Don't work yourselves to
happening.
death and don't stress out either.
Stress is a big killer.
Stress is a big killer and it causes a lot of this shit.
You know what? I never felt like I was a stressor. Not until I had both kids,
Mm.
and
Got in
I
the corporate world.
when you feel like you're the one like holding everything on your shoulders or
Yeah,
you can't fail. I
that's
never had that
valid.
stress until then.
That's
So
valid.
yeah, just try to do some things to alleviate the stress,
Mm.
especially men, because I feel like you guys don't know really how to
Decompress.
decompress. But you
Yeah,
know what?
that's why most men are murderers. We are doing it wrong, boys. Go punch a bag.
But like with women too, like women, we don't put ourselves first. That's the thing. Like our mothers, our grandmothers,
Yeah,
find time to make for yourself. To me, there's always time for yourself.
yeah, yeah.
You can have a babysitter. They can be asleep. You can just be like, you know what? I'm gonna just read this book,
That's
or I'm
fantastic
a
advice.
yeah. Because I saw an interview with Jada Pickett,
Hmm.
and she was talking about how she was taught basically, how to never, you find value or happiness when you're giving to others,
Hmm.
and you always putting yourself in the back burner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she was like, she didn't know how to really like self love and
Yeah.
knowing, not having guilt because you want to put yourself first.
Right. Yeah.
So put yourself first. I mean, I love my kids. I love you, but there are times where you need to step away and be like, no, I'm doing this for me. No, y'all can't have this. No,
Oh
this
yeah.
is mine.
I'm pretty good at doing that. I learned that from my mom's sake. I
Yeah.
learned that from my mom's sake, so I learned it early. It
Hmm.
took you a little bit, and now you're really good at it
But I'm
now.
gonna be honest. I've never had an issue, or I felt like that I was putting myself on
I'm
the back
only speaking
burner.
to that because it's like when he was a baby, but that's a baby. It's a potato. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be, mama bear. I'll rip your throat out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's totally okay.
Yeah, cause
And now, mommy go on vacation.
yeah, because I think sometimes I feel like you would put that on me, like my mom never put herself first, or at least she would say that. So you make sure you do it. I'm like, I'm good. Like
Yeah,
I never have felt like I
I
haven't
did.
put
I
myself
did.
first.
Because growing up in the way where you could see that, oh, maybe kids are a lot, and then induced strokes from incidences with children.
Hmm.
You go, oh, I'm gonna make sure my wife, me personally, right,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure my wife never has to stress about the kids.
yeah,
So then, we get together, we have kids, and then like I'm like harp 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 harp, and you're like, you don't need to do that.
yeah. Calm down.
I already had it already. It's all right.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of that I have to step back away from.
I
But
understand it because you don't want to. You don't want our kids to have this feeling of maybe what you felt like. Okay, how many times are you gonna tell me that you did all this for me?
no work, kid.
Oh, I did everything for you. Okay, no one told you to have me. You know, I'm
Yeah.
so tired of parents doing that shit too.
Oh, I wanted the fucked up
Oh
lungs at
my
birth.
god.
I asked for this.
I did this for you. I did it. At least you can do now. And it's like nobody told you to do that. I'm gonna be selfish. Listen, as you walk out the door with all your bags, nobody told you to do that. I'm leaving. And the parents got the nerve to be like, "Are you gonna stay? Are you gonna say
Word.
no? I'm
No.
living my life. Live yours."
You gave me this. I gotta go live it. Sorry.
Exactly. Jeez. Now, there's this big thing that went viral on TikTok. Now, we don't have TikTok,
No, no, no.
but there is this lady who's in Atlanta, and she did a 50-part story, like storytelling of who the fuck did I marry.
Wait, a 50
It was
part?
50 parts.
Holy
Did
shit.
I finish all 50? No, but I can give you the cliff notes.
That's great. Okay.
So it's this girl named Risa. She works for like Atlanta Patrol or something like that.
Okay.
She meets this guy. Okay, she gives him two names. I think the first name was Ted, and the next name was Legion. So Legion. All right.
Oh wow.
His name was
Legion is mini.
Yeah, because this
I'm
motherfucker
scared.
is a pathological liar.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so Legion is the guy that she meets. I guess she matches with him on Tinder and Hinge. They meet up. Well, I think something happens with her car. He meets her. He pays for her car to get repaired. They go to the cheesecake factory. First red flag to me.
That's fucking hilarious.
Take my grown ass to Cheesecake Factory, okay? That big ass damn menu. They have a good time. They get in his car. He wants her to listen to this John Legend song, a part about how he, just like, certain parts of the song, like I think I found my person or
yes,
whatever.
Yes.
Kind of fast forward a little bit. He says he just moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
He has his company is paying for a house for him, but he's staying in like a studio, and there's issues right now, and she offers for him to move in or whatever.
Oh Lord. This don't sound good.
So they're getting along and everything, and he's like, we should get a house together.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get, I'm not gonna go step by step on everything. It's long, and I know most of the people, our viewers, probably watched it. I haven't watched all of it, but it's at least 25 times they go looking for houses.
Uh-huh.
He says he wants to pay in cash,
Uh-huh.
but he doesn't want to. What does he say? He doesn't. He wants the offer first, the offer letter before he gives them the cash or whatever. It's like complicating the realtors, and every time it never goes through.
That's weird.
Yeah, like there's at least 25 times this man has done this. And it seems like he gets off with getting her excited about things, and then it doesn't happen. So example.
That's so fucked up.
He's like, oh, my company bought me a car. They got me like a BMW.
Okay.
And she's like, he's like, I think I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to just drive the BMW home. She's like, okay, cool, because I want to see, I want to drive it too.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't happen. He comes home in his regular Toyota or whatever. Or telling her like, yeah, we need to get you a car because she ends up getting pregnant.
Ooh.
And he's like, no, I don't want you riding in that car that you have. She has like a Rogue, Nissan Rogue or whatever.
Okay.
So he takes her to like all these dealerships. No, I don't like this one. Test drive this one. Okay, I think I like this. No, no, test drive the Audi. Okay. So she's like, yeah, this is the one I want.
Right. She found the man she's always dreamed of at this point in her head. She's got it.
And then every time it's like, okay, I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna put the money down. My company's gonna pay for it. Let me just get on the phone.
Yeah.
It's a lot of him getting on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey Bob. Yeah, yeah. Is a finance guy there? Oh, he's not. Okay, okay. We're gonna just hold off on the car. He did that a couple times at these dealerships.
Is the finance guy there?
He gets on the phone. Things are about to happen, as he would say, and something just magically doesn't happen.
Finance guy. What do you mean he's not?
Yeah. He has an ex-wife, he says, that he met in California, because that's where he's from.
Okay.
And he has 2 stepsons and a daughter, that's not his, but that's her kids.
Another relationship.
He tells us the girl, because at the time this is her fiance.
Okay.
Because fast forward, they get engaged, but he just kind of slams it on the table. A ring that they picked out months prior. He said, well, wait, because I want to propose like in a romantic way.
And he just slammed it on the fucking table. That nigga had to save the fuck up.
Like, what? So then,
yo,
like, he tells her, like, the ex-wife has moved to Atlanta. He's like, okay. And she says she sees him talking to the kids all the time. He even mentioned to her, like, his grandmother and grandfather died because this is during COVID. They died of COVID. At one point, he takes her to the cemetery. They drive around up a hill, and then he brings her to the headstone. And she's like, Jane and John Doe. Okay. He's like, yeah.
Wait a minute. Not Jane and John Doe.
Yeah, they buried them together.
Wait.
Like, it's like crazy.
No.
Come to find out, like, I'm just going to give you some things that she ends up finding out, because she starts to play Detective Gadget, because things are just not adding up.
I need to know.
I'm getting tired of you saying, let's keep finding that house, but then it never goes through. It's
right.
always difficult.
Right.
Or getting a car.
Mm-hmm.
He always leaves the house at 6:15, always comes home between 3:30 4:30. One point when they passed the building, he's like, oh, behind this building is where we're opening another building, because I guess he used to do arena football. That's how he got all his money. He wanted to pay $600,000 in cash for a house. But now he's like a vice president of a condiment company.
Okay.
And she's like, well, how would it be behind here? This is all business. Like, he's like, no, it's just for like office spaces or whatever. Yeah. Not like an actual like plan or anything like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, he's like, yeah, and that's where the BMW is. That's where the company car. She's like, well, take me there. And he was like, okay. So he gets off, he gets off the next stop. He gets on the phone. Hey, yeah, Scott. Yeah. So is the building open? Where's the security guy? Is Bob there?
Bob there.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay. Oh, well, we can't. She's like, oh, yeah, just like I thought.
Right.
Just like I thought. Just like I thought. They get married, and they got to put their name and their social security number on the birth certificate or the file when you file it. She like memorizes social security number and goes and does it like she does private investigation, like looks him up. There's like nothing. Like absolutely nothing. So that's a red flag.
Oh,
like,
this nigga's a good ghost.
Yeah, like what? What the hell is going on? She said it was good for like, they got married on like the 5th or 6th, and by the 30th she was like, I think I fucked up.
Yo.
Yeah, she was like, I think I fucked up. And there's just a series of things that come about. Like, I think he gave her a present. One day she walks in, there's this big present. She said, anybody knows me knows that I always want to go to London and I always want to go to Paris. Right. There's this box. Inside of it, it's an itinerary for Paris. Or London. One is London.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the itinerary. He's like, I'm taking you here in July. She was like, okay. And I'm taking you to this hotel. It's a big bougie hotel.
Yeah.
But it's an itinerary, so...
It ain't the real thing. It's just a...
I don't know. Something happened.
She got a schedule for a later date.
She says that they go to renew their passports, but something happened, so it doesn't happen. So I don't know what the hell happened.
Who is this nigga?
The girl goes... So she wants to go look for a better job because I think she's like, you know what, I need to be able to, because he's paying all the
Afford some
bills.
shit. She needs to get her
He
own
said
money.
she asked for him to show her his bank accounts because he has like a Chase one. He has like three different accounts and an offshore one. But he refused to show her the Chase and the offshore. That's supposed to be where the hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
But he said, well, my uncle told me one time that you never show a woman because my ex-wife tried to take money from me. That's why we
This
divorced.
nigga got an excuse for everything.
Everything. Pathological liar. So he calls her one day while she's at her, so she gets a new job.
Okay.
She has this background check,
Right.
extensive. She's like, hey, they're asking for your spouse's name, social security, all that.
Right.
She noticed when he puts the social security number down, is the first three digits are different. So at that point, she's like, what the hell is going on? So she goes down to the courthouse and she goes to look at the papers that were filed for his divorce, his last one. She
Okay.
sees that they were married and divorced in Atlanta, not California.
Interesting.
Yeah, that his last place of like his job was at a grocery store. So she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" So she sees the number to his ex-wife, and she's like, "Fuck, I'm gonna just call her."
Dude.
So she called Barbara, and she's like, "Hey,
Barbara.
this is what's the name?" And she was like, "Well, I'm married to Legion."
And
And
I need to know who
she
this
was
nigga is.
she paused and she laughed for me. She's like, "If you calling me, it's bad."
If you're calling me as bad
She
is
said
so
it's
fucking.
bad.
That's so sinister.
She was like, she's like, just know about him. Anything you don't even have to tell me anything. He's lying. Anything you say is lying. Now the reason why she goes down to the courthouse to like see about these like divorce documents is because he calls her that day and says, "Hey, I just want to give you a heads up. My stepson called me and he's all messed up because his sister died. I guess it was COVID." She was like, "Oh my god!" And she said, "People know I don't play about that." So I'm like, "Oh my god, can we put $2,000? Can I give it to my ex-wife for the funeral?" She's like, "Yeah, whatever." So she was like, something don't sound right. So she asked her at
Smart
the
woman.
end of this conversation, like, "How's your kids? Like, how's your daughter?" And she was like, "I mean, she's fine. Why? Why do you say that?" And she's like, "I didn't even have the heart to tell her that that man said that she died."
Jesus.
Yeah.
What?
So
in the
there's so
fuck?
much going on. Like this just lets me know that there are some dangerous men out there
Dangerous.
and they are willing to lie, cheat, steal, kill.
See, I'm not as bad as trauma ridden as I am.
I would just say this. She finds text messages in his Facebook. So cheating is already there as well. So there's a lot going
Okay.
on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I want men to know that if you watch the 50 story time thing, just know that you sometimes need to work with women because we could get in these kind of situations where like I don't trust a goddamn soul
Yeah.
because you have
She's
two
no
lives.
longer gonna trust any other man that she
Yeah,
comes across.
and she was kind of like in her head like I found a good man. Why are you like doing this to yourself and in your head? But like
Yep.
women, we have that intuition
Good.
and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been in a relationship where I'm like, it's nagging at me and nagging, and I'm like,
Right.
I need to look at this motherfucker's phone. And I'm not even that girl.
That's fair.
And you find, just know if you go looking for something, you better be ready for what you find. And I'm
Right.
always ready.
I'm
ready with the blicky. But but I was like, there a part of me was like, she ignored red flags, and this because women get a little bit desperate, insecure. There were so many red flags, and
No, I don't know if she.
there are.
I don't know if she was. I wouldn't say desperate. Maybe she honestly thought she found that guy. She was like, "Oh, this is it. Wow, lucky me." Maybe just luck.
A part of me feels like a little desperation because I don't stay where I'm not wanted or where I'm not getting honesty.
I mean,
a little bit.
Cheesecake Factory was the first red flag you would walk away. So that makes sense. But that for her, maybe I'm just saying. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but then also inherently, I usually think you're dumb until I meet you. But so I don't know.
That makes me like I have trust issues.
That is wild. It sounds like the Tinder swindler, dude.
Something like, and you know what? I might have to come back next weekend once I finish it because I'm at like 32 like
so you're at like the almost the halfway
almost
mark.
I'm at the halfway mark basically, but like there's so much that go on and a lot of people there's so many reactions online. People are like, well, who the fuck is this guy?
I might even have to look into it my damn self because this sounds so crazy and sinister. Like there's a part of me that's scared for her her person.
Yeah.
Like I don't want this nigga to turn out to be like crazy in any other way. But also that is so scary and dangerous that like
Yeah.
what is he doing? He can assume anybody's identity. Is it identity theft? Is
I
it
think
like
he used two different social
scammer?
securities.
Like
He lied about his grandma probably because I think she died before
a
COVID.
squatter even?
He says that he talked to his ex-wife on a regular basis because the kids, but she's like, I have not talked to him since we got a divorce. Like I think she has a court order because
So,
of.
yeah.
I think he's done multiple
And
crimes.
I mean, that tips me off of that because she even said that if you're calling me, it's bad. That lets me know that he isn't
She
supposed to
even said like
either.
an ex-girlfriend before her called her.
That's
Yeah, so
crazy.
she's like, listen, I'm not telling you. She's like, you're gonna do what you want to do, but just know he's never gonna change. He's a liar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's always lying.
That's
And I'm like, so I don't.
wild.
I feel like that goes back to maybe if you grew up not having much, or you lived in that kind of lifestyle, fast paced. You
Yeah.
just only knew how to kind of scam and get what you needed. Kind of like Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character on Fighting Temptations.
Yeah, that
It
makes
was
sense.
always as fast paced because he didn't have it, so he's trying to get money real fast.
That makes sense.
But I'm like, how did he? Does he have this money? Because she said she's seen bank accounts. He paid all the bills. So she was like, I didn't have a reason not to trust that he had the money. He's picking these big houses and stuff. So I don't know. It's really sketchy it's
Yeah,
sketchy as
but
fuck.
that's where my mindset goes because you can't be a squatter and then have that type of money, but then not be able to get a house. So then you're always and have an offshore bank account.
Yeah.
So all this stuff leads me to believe that there is a scam somewhere that's happened
Yeah.
that has made some lucrative money for him.
Mhm.
And if he gave some real identity theft type or identity shit, he'd get caught up on a list some fucking where.
Yeah.
Like pop up on a person's screen, like, oh, this nigga then came up online. We got him, boys. You know that type.
Yeah, it's scary. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say you have to investigate the people
That's
you
crazy.
with, but you have to be careful. Red flags, it's hard. You try to we ignore them.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So,
We ignore
so
because we
most
like
cases-
people. We end up falling in love with people, but you have to go. I would advise anyone to go slow. I am not a slow person. I know that. I be quick, fast, in a hurry with my fast. But I'm saying from personal experience, slow down, get to know people. And I always tell this to my sisters, do not move in with anyone until you get married. I'm just saying because you can always have sleepovers with a man and vice versa. So uh, the worst thing to me is getting in a fight with someone and not being able to really leave.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
you want to be able to walk away.
You want to be able to
So
walk away.
I always tell people don't get in these big
Commitments. Yeah.
with people, and it's hard to get out, like marriage and shit. So she, even a month after she got married, she's like,
That's
what
why
the
I was
fuck
like,
did I do?
Jesus, dude, she actually took the plunge.
Yeah, after even stuff, there were so many red flags. She was
Yeah.
questioning so much. It
It's
was
sca-
so
it's
much
crazy.
shit that happened.
That's
And
crazy.
She didn't even do a background check on him until after she filed the marriage for the marriage
That's
license.
wild, dude.
She's like, yeah, I know. But she's a great storyteller. If they make a movie, she did that, so she deserves it.
Yeah, that's wild. That's
Yeah.
wild. I might just have to do a little research on that over the weekend.
Oh, it's
give
so
this
good.
Give this a listen to or a watch or get some commentary because that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah, so this is our episode.
Yeah.
Our TikTok viral, story time because man, I'm been watching it and it's just engulfed me. But I
That's
work, so I'm like
cool,
trying to
dude.
get time in, but it's so much.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have just uploaded them on YouTube, and I've seen someone who has two-parter, but they're like 4.5 hours each. Like that's how much information she gives us.
I mean, 4.5 hours. I'm willing to watch anything that long anyway. I've done it before. I stay up late, so that
Yeah.
type of shit I'll easily get into for
Mhm.
sure. Wow, incredible. The internet is a very weird place.
Man, we
It's a
just been
very
looking
weird
for these
place.
stories. So if you guys haven't watched it, you can go on TikTok if you have TikTok. We don't. So I just have people who kind of commentary on it
Yeah.
and kind of condense it down
Yeah.
from,
You
let's say,
like snippets.
yeah. So I found all of her story times on TikTok. I found them uploaded on YouTube. So I'm watching it there.
Right,
But
right.
god damn, girl, like Risa, like girl, I wish you happiness because damn, you went through some shit.
Run away.
And I hate to say that like desperate, but it is a little bit of like, damn, like
Seek
I'm
help.
at this age. I found someone finally because all these men been, because the dating market is a hot mess.
Yeah, people got to check up on her to make
So
sure she's.
I hope she's good. I hope she
Yeah.
finds someone like really worth. But it's gonna take whoever that man is. Sometimes like she gonna be like, no, slow the fuck down.
It's gonna be hard to get away from him.
Who is you? I need a background check,
Yeah,
and I
this
will
is
get
gonna
a
be some crazy
background.
shit.
I would get a background check every time I meet somebody at that point. Like fuck.
Yeah.
So, do you have any last words and wisdom before we head out for the weekend?
Nah, man, y'all have a good weekend out
Yeah.
there. Stay
All
safe.
right, you guys. Well, remember we upload our new episodes every Friday, audio wise, and we're on YouTube at Ideally Though Pod. So, like, subscribe, hit the bell button.
Share that shit.
It will be on Sundays, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Yeah.